YouTubers, good morning everybody. Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. Very successful trends in the housing market last night. Thanks for joining me, guys. Going over different, people are bringing up stuff. Oh, Mike, wages aren't matching price of cost of living. Guys, watch my older videos. I talk about everything from derivatives, from movements in the market with sales on the market versus supply versus demand, the whole 9 yards. I go over everything in different videos, so you got to kind of poke around at my channel and see what I got going on there, especially specific countries that I'm focused on, because everything is a global thing. Now, what do I want to talk about today is why everybody is dirt poor, or not dirt poor, or just really finding it hard to make it even though they have two jobs. There's a reason why, and it has to do a lot with, a lot of it has to do with our banking system. And you're like, oh, Mike, my bank, I got free checking account, and I don't pay for this, and I get 30 free withdrawals. It's not that, guys. It's not even that. It's something bigger and deeper. So let's go back to 1984, okay? Now, 1984 is a very special year because back in the day, you used to get 7% on your savings account. Back in the day, a lot of people wouldn't buy stocks. A lot of people would just use their deposits as an investment. You just go deposit your money, you're making money off your money. And the same thing with the bond market. People would just buy bonds and could do well on bonds and in stocks. So the 7-year rule, a lot of people don't know this, especially a lot of millennials watching my channel, or young people watching my channel don't know this, okay? But in 10 years, at 7%, your money doubled. So a lot, and the thing is, you're like, well, you see, I don't have any money to double anyway. No, but back in the day, you actually had a savings account. Back in 84, 85, 86, you actually had money in your account, believe it or not, because there's only so much you could spend your money on. And back in those times, there weren't credit cards that you had to pay with crazy interest rates, right? So it was kind of like buy as you go type of thing scenario, and buy with your money, right? And to withdraw money from your account was really hard back in the day because you had to wait for the bank to open. There was no bank machines. Everything was different. So people don't know. So your money would double in 10 years. At 7%, your money would double. So if you think about it, and you would be able to save, let's say, like $20,000 in 3 years, which wasn't impossible at the time. You would save that money because people paid off their houses in 3 years, which were worth $20,000. So you'd save that. Instead of buying property, you say, I'm going to rent for $100 a month. It's better. I'm better off because I want to save my money because it's making me money off my account. So 10 years go by, you're 30 from 20. Your 20 grand goes to 40. 10 years go by, you're 40. You see what I'm saying? And then your 20 grand became 40, and then your 40 grand became 80, and then it keeps building up, right? And that's a nice little cushion for emergencies and stuff. Man, 80 grand even today is a great cushion for a lot of people just to get them back on their feet. But unfortunately, with the banks moving money around and putting money into this banking system where they lowered rates to an historical low, and the banks don't lend off deposits like they used to. Back in the day, we used to lend off deposits. So whatever the bank had in deposits, they could lend out. Now with this fractional reserve lending, what's been happening with fractional reserve lending is they're making money out of thin air and creating it out of nothing. And now banks are not using deposits anymore to lend out money. So the bank doesn't have the money to lend you to buy your house. They just create it out of nothing and expect you to pay it back with high interest rates. And that's what's happening to Africa right now. Germany and all these countries are lending money to African countries. They don't have the money because they're trillions of euros in debt, but they go ahead and do it anyway to collect interest from these African poor countries and enslave the countries. So that's another topic for another day, and that's what I've been advocating on my Portuguese channel in Portuguese Africa. But anyways, let me get back to what I was talking about. So now, when you got people like Rachel Maddow, all those people like from The View and stuff, I'm not making fun of them or anything, but it's just they live in their own world. So in their economic world, everything is fine. Why? Because everything's been put into stocks, okay? Not growing off a savings account at 0.01%. The average person did that. Their money is in huge stocks, and stocks have been going up, I don't know how many, since Trump has been in power, and the stock's going up in huge percentages, and people are not realizing that these people live in their own economic world, and that's why, and that's why people vote in the Donald Trumps. That's why people vote in Brexit and all that kind of stuff. It's because people are sick and tired. Now they're trying to play it off as a race card or black versus white thing or a racist thing, but it's not. It's about economic impoverishment and how we are becoming more and more impoverished by thinking that we're doing the right thing, but meanwhile, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're never going to get ahead, right? So I really want you guys to understand this. It's very important. Now, I'm not calling out those people from the... I'm just telling you that their political landscape is different. Hi. Can I get a large coffee with 1 cream?
Sure. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys. It's so important that you guys understand this, right? Yeah, inflation plays a big part. Why does inflation start sprouting up? Because we lowered interest rates so much that to record levels at 0 or 0.5% to historical levels to hedge against the crash. We should have let that market crash and reset. Things would be better right now. But since 2007, nothing's been normal, guys. Nothing's been fixed properly since 2007. And then we have a chance to fix it by raising interest rates. And guess what? They don't want to do it. I don't know why. So you see what I'm saying? So it gets into this housing crisis where housing prices go up because our money becomes devalued. And people working, I feel sorry for the people, you know, that work 2-3 jobs to try and get ahead, and meanwhile it's not breaking ice, you know. And that's what's happening. So people living in these other financial grids or financial worlds don't understand what's happening to the other people. So everybody jumps on the bandwagon that Trump's a racist, that Brexit is bad, and blah blah blah, and open borders. Hi.
Hello, sir.
How are you this morning?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Same here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you.
So, that's what I wanted to put up. That's what I wanted to tell you guys. That's how I want to tell you guys. This is so important that you guys know this. See, back in the day, you could get ahead. But a lot of people in their financial worlds, in their financial situation, they never look at the little guy, or they never look at what's really going on the big picture. So you get TV shows like The View, and you get TV shows like CNN. Okay, CNN's a TV show. It's not a news outlet. So they bring up all this anti-Trump rhetoric, anti-Trump this, and then they try bringing up, you know, fitting it with neo-Nazi-ness and all this other crap that doesn't fit. None of the jargon fits. You look at it, it's like, okay, if I believe this, well, you know what? And the majority of people that believe it are in financial disparity right now. So they need to vent their hate or vent their dislikes against something. You know, someone told me the other day, oh, do you support Trump? You know what, lady? I support whoever's in power that can make America great again. I'm sick and tired of watching the country fall apart and losing its jobs, because Canada gets affected just as well as the United States does. Canada needs England, Ireland, Scotland, Australia. A lot of them need more somebody that's more politically not politically understandable, but more someone in politics that's not just a mouthpiece, somebody that really wants to create change. And to create change, you got to start creating a bit of turbulence, and that's going to upset a lot of people. You know, a lot of people that got jobs recently in the United States, they're happy. You know, they're happy they're working again. People working in the steel mills again. People working in the solar project energy again. Honey makers making honey again, because they were importing it from China at record low prices and local honey, and it was all cornstarch and sugars. And now the real honey industry is popping back up in the U.S. You know, you're seeing a great Canadian brain drain, because a lot of doctors are just moving to Florida, Arizona. They're moving and buying a nice property for their family and raising their kids. Hey, I'm a doctor. If my family gets sick, I could tell them what's wrong. I could diagnose them. For Christ's sake, everyone talks, what about the healthcare? I'm like, dude, if you're a doctor, it's your job. Anyways, I don't know. financial disparity. Stocks started going up. Lots of stocks started going up. And what happened is a lot of the dividend funds in the banks, bank dividend funds on banks, like Bank of America, Wachovia, all their dividends were paying out really well. So what they did was they took a lot of the money out of the savings accounts, not physically taking it out of pensions and stuff, and then moving it into a lot of the bank to pay out the bank dividends to the stockholders. That's why a lot of these big guys, I'm not going to mention any names, but a lot of those big guys up there, they've been writing off the bank dividends, like hundreds of millions of dollars a year they're making, if not billions per year, in bank dividend payouts, because the banks have been moving the money into those dividends to make their shareholders happy, to help prop up the banking system, right? So there's a lot going on, guys. You know, a lot of people on my housing shows, oh, Mike, you should talk about more about banking and fractional reserve and that. Yeah, I mean, I could talk about that, but remember, guys, I'm not educated, right? So I just want people to know that you're just taking, or you're listening to somebody that doesn't know anything, right? And I have a grade 6 reading level. So it's very important that you guys know that, okay? I'm not coming on here to be a know-it-all and to tell everybody how to live their lives. I just want to create discussion with people, you know? I love you guys very much. And I want everybody to know that I want to create a discussion for everybody so that we could be informed by talking, right? We can't depend on news anymore, so it's best that we just talk to each other the old-fashioned way. Let me know what you guys think. I'm approaching the shop. I'm going to open in a few minutes here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.